The night was warm, sticky, and loud, the kind of night when the city never sleeps, and neither do people's tempers. Sana and her younger brother, Haris, stood outside the bustling airport terminal, dragging their suitcases toward the taxi stand. They had just returned from a long, exhausting trip, and all they wanted was a quiet ride home. A yellow taxi rolled up. The driver, an older man with gray streaks in his beard and calm, observant eyes, lowered the window. "Where to?" he asked gently. Sana told him their address, and the man nodded. "Get in." But the moment the ride began, things took a turn. Haris, already irritated from the long flight, began complaining loudly about the AC. "Bye, the air isn't even cold." "Do you expect us to suffocate in here?" The driver calmly adjusted the vents. "Give it a minute. It will cool." But Haris was in no mood. "No, you people do this on purpose. Slow service, bad AC, long routes just to charge extra." Sana elbowed him, whispering, "Stop it. You're being rude." He ignored her, turning his irritation toward the driver. "Why are you taking this road? This is the longer way." "I know the city." The old man kept his gaze forward. "This route avoids construction ahead. It's faster." Haris scoffed. "Yeah, right. You think because we just came from the airport, we don't know anything." Sana wanted to sink into her seat. She apologized under her breath, but the driver only offered a faint smile. "It's okay, long flights make people tired," he said calmly. But Haris wasn't done. He muttered, loudly enough to be heard, "These drivers think we're fools." That was the first moment the old man's expression shifted, ever so slightly, not angry, but sharp, attentive. Sana noticed and felt her stomach twist. For the rest of the ride, Haris continued to grumble. He ranted about the fare, the traffic, the AC, the city, anything he could weaponize against the driver. The old man remained quiet, driving steadily through the night. Finally, they reached their neighborhood. As the taxi slowed near their street, Haris leaned forward. "Just park anywhere. And don't even think about charging extra for this nonsense route." The car stopped. The driver tapped a few times on his meter, then looked back at them. "This is the standard fare," he said softly. "No extra charge." Haris rolled his eyes and pulled out his wallet. Yeah, just hurry up." Sana wished she could disappear. But before she could step out, the driver spoke again, this time in a tone that was impossibly calm, almost surgical. "You know," he began, "when someone lies, their voice tightens, their breathing changes, their eyes shift to the left. That's what you did when you said you knew the city." Haris froze, visibly startled. What? The man continued, "And when someone underestimates another person, they tend to raise their voice, to assert dominance. I've seen that many times." Sana blinked. There was something in the man's voice that didn't match a regular taxi driver. It carried authority, decades of it. "Beta," he said gently but firmly. "Don't assume the person in front of you is less than you." Haris stiffened. "And who exactly are you to lecture me?" The driver reached into the glove compartment and pulled out a worn leather wallet. From inside it, he slid out an ID card, one with an emblem neither of them recognized at first. It was old but unmistakably official. Sana leaned closer. "Inter-Services Intelligence, retired field officer." Her breath caught. Haris turned pale. You're EC?" The old man nodded lightly, as though it was nothing. "Retired many years now. I drive a taxi because it gives me peace. Lets me meet people. See life from the ground again." Sana felt her face burn with a mix of shock and shame. "I wasn't trying to deceive you," the driver said. "But I can tell when someone is angry, stressed, or just tired. He looked at Haris, "are not a bad person, just impatient. And impatience can get a man into serious trouble." The words hit harder than any scolding ever could. For the first time all evening, Haris fell silent, truly silent. The driver stepped out and opened the trunk, helping them with their luggage, even though he didn't have to. His movements were slow, deliberate, almost graceful. Sana whispered, "Sir, I'm really sorry. He didn't mean—" "I know," the old man said kindly. "But he should still learn." Haris swallowed hard. I'm sorry, sir. I shouldn't have spoken like that." The man placed a hand on his shoulder, light, steady, wise. "Respect," he said, "is tested most when you think the other person has nothing to give you." The sentence lodged itself deep into Haris's mind. They stood on the pavement, watching the old man get back into his taxi. Before he left, he rolled down the window and said one last thing. "In my life I met men who thought they were powerful until they met someone stronger. Power is not loud. It is calm. With that, he drove off into the night, the taillights fading into the city's glowing chaos. Haris didn't speak for a long moment. Finally, he whispered, "I messed up." Sana smiled softly. "Maybe, but you also just learned something most people never do." Haris exhaled slowly, his earlier arrogance completely gone. That night, he didn't just meet a taxi driver. He met a man who had seen wars, secrets, and human nature up close, and who used all of that experience to teach one simple lesson: never underestimate anyone. It was a ride they would never forget. What do you think of this story? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and remember to subscribe for more.